Hey, besties! Say hi to Smokey. Yeah. Are you going to help Mama do a book haul today? You going to help Mama do a book haul? I think she might be coming over here to the computer desk. She's thinking about it. Yeah, okay. I have an awesome haul from the library today. I spent a good while browsing. I've got a nice variety of books. I'm hoping I DNF'd so many books this week that I actually can't even show them all to you because I took them all back to the library. There was just a whole bunch that I DNF'd. So, here's hoping that these will make the cut. First up, The Secret Life of Albert Entwistle by Matt Cain. Look at the cat. He's a postal delivery guy, postman, whatever you want to call it, in England. It just sounds absolutely delightful. It says, Albert is one of the most endearing characters I've met in a long time. Susan Wiggs, #1 New York best-selling author. Every day, Albert Entwistle makes his way through the street of his small English town, delivering letters and parcels and returning greetings with a quick wave and a how-do. Everyone on his route knows Albert, or thinks they do, and a man of quiet routines, content to live alone with his cat, Gracie. I already like him. 3 months before his 65th birthday, Albert receives a letter from the Royal Mail thanking him for decades of service and stating that he is being forced into retirement. At once, Albert's simple life unravels. Without the work that fills his days, what will he do? He has no friends, family, or hobbies, just a past he never speaks of and a lost love that fills him with regret. And so, rather than continue his lonely existence, Albert forms a brave plan to start living, to be honest about who he is, and to find George, the man with whom he spent one perfect spring and summer long ago. One painful yet exhilarating step at a time, Albert begins searching for George and revealing his story to those around him. As he does, something extraordinary happens. Albert finds unlikely allies, new friends, and the courage to help others, even as he seeks the happiness he's always denied himself. Beautifully written, funny, and wise, The Secret Life of Albert Entwistle is a book to fall in love with and to be inspired by, one that proves it is never too late to live, to hope, and to love. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Very heartwarming. Okay. And I'm not sure what this is. It doesn't say what genre it is, but I thought it sounded kind of interesting. Something a little out of my usual wheelhouse. What is wrong with you? A tech billionaire and the flight attendant he's marrying, a TV superhero who used to be married to that very same flight attendant. A Manhattan book editor and the sensitivity associate who got him fired. A 23-year-old wild child prodigy who's perhaps the savior of American literature. A vengeful Arkansas sheriff who sells a vitamin-enriched 10 pounds off today demulsifier. A Wall Street bro who raps on TikTok. 2 dentists possibly stalking each other. Does this not sound hilarious? You see why I picked this up. When I read this, I was like, I have got to see if this sounds good. What do these people have in common? Invited or not, they're all headed to the most anticipated destination wedding ever, on the billionaire's private island, to seek romance, to cause mayhem, and to figure out everyone else's futures, and maybe even their own. Find out what happens in Paul Ruddock's heartfelt new novel, which dares to pose the question essential to anyone who's ever been in love. What is wrong with you? So, we'll see. Then we have Who Loves You Best by Marilyn Simon Rothstein. This seemed like, it says, a feel-good novel about daughters, mothers, and way too many grandmas. I thought it sounded so sweet, I couldn't resist. For Jody Wexler, a Florida doctor with a flourishing practice, only one thing's missing: the chance to spend more time getting to know her 8-year-old granddaughter, McAllen. When Jody's restaurateur daughter asks her to watch McAllen in the Berkshires while she takes care of some business out of town, Jody can't say yes fast enough. neither Jody's podiatric patients, I've never heard it said that way before, but I think I pronounced it right, nor her just fired, suddenly retired husband can keep her away. But when Jody arrives, she discovers she's not the only grandma at Lisa's house. Lisa's mother-in-law, Di, a hard-nosed real estate agent, has moved into the house. What's more, there's Granny Annie, the 27-year-old girlfriend of Lisa's oddball father-in-law. They're not the only surprises. Lisa's marriage is faltering even as her new restaurant is taking off. As the competition for McCallan's attention among the three grandmas increases, Lisa drops a bomb about her life that changes everything. Under pressure and determined to help her daughter, Jody must choose her next step. Her decision surprises everyone, Jody most of all. So I thought it sounded like it could be a really nice, cozy, feel-good story, so we will see. And then this is labeled as a mystery. Pomona Afton can so solve a murder. The title is funny, so I thought this would be fun. When Pomona Afton, Upper East Side hotel heiress, stumbles out of a gala and upon the scene of her grandmother's unaliving, her first thought is that the society queen won't be missed. Her grandmother was mean, greedy, and paranoid. So paranoid that she secretly slipped a clause into her will mandating that should she die an unnatural death, all the family assets get frozen. And if the unnatural death isn't explained, those accounts stay frozen. Practically overnight, Pomona is locked out of her penthouse with no other option than to move in with a roommate, Gabe, the irritable yet handsome son of her former nanny. Not only is his apartment cramped, it doesn't even have a doorman or a chef. Pom needs someone to solve this unaliving like yesterday so she can get her trust fund back. But as Pom's family clams up, blocking the police at every turn, Pom quickly realizes that if she wants her glamorous life back, she's going to have to put on her big girl mantles and do it herself, with the help of Gabe, whom she's falling for more and more by the day. Can Pomona Afton, who previously couldn't solve a crossword in the bath on a hungover Sunday, actually solve this unaliving? And if she does return to her former life of luxury, will it be worth the possibility of losing Gabe? So that could be fun. I've never read anything by her, and I'm not sure if this will be my thing or not, but I thought I would try it. It's labeled as a romance, and I don't typically read that, but the plot sounded kind of interesting. Good in bed. For 28 years, things have been tripping along nicely for Canny. Sure, her mother has come charging out of the closet, and her father has long since dropped out of her world. But she loves her friends, her rat terrier Nifkin, and her job as pop culture reporter for the Philadelphia Examiner. She's even made a tenuous peace with her plus-size body. But the day she opens up a national women's magazine and sees the words "loving a larger woman" above her ex-boyfriend's byline, Canny is plunged into misery and the most amazing year of her life. From Philadelphia to Hollywood and back home again, she charts a new course for herself, mourning her losses, facing her past, and figuring out who she is and who she can become. What fascinated me, because I kind of scanned the first couple pages, was the thought of this, like, how horrifying if, you know, your ex-boyfriend posts an article in a magazine talking about loving a larger woman as if, like, you know, how he managed to get through this or something. Like, that would just be so awful. Like, that's what intrigued me. I was like, oh my goodness, like, can you imagine? Okay, then this is a memoir. I thought this looked interesting. Protecting Whitney, the memoir of her bodyguard, David Roberts. I have just always thought that sort of thing is very fascinating. Like, he's telling, you know, the true story of protecting her, from Protecting Whitney. If she doesn't stop, she'll never sing again. As the concerned, gray-bearded doctor sitting across from me explained the damage to Whitney's vocal cords, I stared out the window of the Cessna at crimson cliffs and towering spires. Dr. Julian Groff, Whitney's throat doctor, had flown out from Miami to Arizona the day before to examine her. He then put out a call asking that I meet him the next day to go up in a plane and fly over the canyon for a couple of hours. It was an offer I didn't want to refuse, and knowing Whitney would definitely not be going anywhere that day, I agreed. But the news and prognosis he had to impart over the hum of the engine brought me back down to earth. The anger in me began to rise. I thought of that magnificent, exquisite voice that could reach into one's heart and soul, now in danger of being lost forever. As her protection officer, it was my responsibility to keep her safe at all costs, and yet the good doctor was asking me to address a threat. There's some tape here. Oh, I had not been trained to handle. So yeah, I thought that sounded very interesting. The Language of Love and Loss by Bart Yates. As it turns out, you can go home again, but sometimes you really, really don't want to. Home for Noah York is Oakland, New Hampshire, the sleepy little town where Noah's mother, Virginia, had a psychotic breakdown and Noah got beaten to a pulp as a teenager. Then there were the good times, and Noah's not sure which ones are more painful to recall. Now 37 and eking out a living as an artist in Providence, Rhode Island, Noah looks much the same and swears just as colorfully as he did in high school. Virginia has become a wildly successful poet who made him the subject of her most famous poem, The Lost Soul, a label Noah will never live down. And JD, the one who got away, because Noah stupidly drove him away, is in a loving marriage with a successful, attractive man whom Noah despises wholeheartedly. Is it any surprise that Noah wishes he could ignore his mother's summons to come visit? But Virginia has shattering news to deliver and a request he can't refuse. Soon Noah will track down the sister and extended family he never knew existed, try to keep his kleptomaniac cousin out of jail, feud with a belligerent neighbor, confront JD's jealous husband, and face JD himself. The ache from Noah's past that never fades, all the while contending with his brilliant, unpredictable mother. Bittersweet, hilarious, and moving, and as unapologetically candid and unforgettable as Noah himself, The Language of Love and Loss is a story about growing older, getting lost, and finding your way back to the only truths that really matter. So it sounds very good. Then I'm super excited for this. I've been on the wait list at the library for a long time for this because this is a new hot off the press one. I Would Die for You by Sandy Jones. I have liked her books in the past, so I'm excited about this. How far would you go for the object of your devotion? California, 2011. Nicole Forbes lives a quiet life in the small seaside town of Coronado with her husband and daughter. She is not expecting a writer to knock on her door asking for her personal insight into the downfall of the biggest British band of the 1980s, unspooling the threads of a life she left behind years ago. The same day, her daughter goes missing and the school claims her aunt picked her up. But she doesn't have an aunt. Oh my word, can you imagine? Oh, the sheer panic. Convinced of a link between the two incidents, Nicole is forced to confront long-abandoned memories from her past to protect everything she now holds dear. London, 1986. 16-year-old Cassie is obsessed with Secret October, the hottest band of the moment. Harboring an intense crush on the lead singer, Ben Edwards, she will do anything she can to capture his attention among the throngs of groupies at the band's scandalous backstage parties. But when Ben discovers her older sister, Nicole, singing at a local bar one night, he can't help but feel drawn to her, setting in motion a collision course that could tear their family apart. Infused with the sounds of the 80s, this thrilling novel from Sandy Jones explores the chaos that the frenzy of fandom can provoke. So that sounds very good. Okay, and then we have another memoir, a daughter's journey into the underworld of meth addiction and a father's fight to bring her back, Loss of Innocence. Ron and Karen Clem. The Clem family was living the American dream until 15-year-old Karen became addicted to meth. Within 2 months of first taking the highly addictive drug, Karen had moved out of the family home, spent her entire savings on meth, and resorted to stealing, dealing, and prostitution to fund her habit. Loss of Innocence is a harrowing yet uplifting account told both from Karen's perspective and from the point of view of her father, Ron, a former LA police officer. Ron describes how he went back to being a cop to try to rescue his daughter and how he suffered a heart attack in the street when he witnessed Karen selling herself to a drug dealer. After selling their home and cars to pay for a $100,000 treatment and recovery program for Karen, their daughter is now healthy, clean, and sober. Loss of Innocence is the family's opportunity to prove that with unfailing love and support, there is hope and life after drug addiction. And then, I don't know what has gotten into me, but since I tried that one romance and really liked it, this is my second one in this haul that I'm going to attempt. Don't hate me. I'm sorry. I know typically I don't go for these, and I might DNF it, but we'll see. I like that it had a dog on the front. Back after this, Cecilia Foster loves to make podcasts. She fiercely protects her colleagues, adores her friends, and never misses dinner with her sister. But after a disastrous relationship with a colleague who stole her heart and her ideas, she's put romantic love on hold. When the boss, who's disappointed her again and again, finally offers her the chance to host her own show, she wants to be thrilled. But there's a catch. Actually, two catches. First, the show will be about Cecilia's dating life. And second, she has to follow the guidance of influencer and newly minted relationship coach Eliza Cassidy, whose relentless upbeat attitude seems ready-made for social media, not real life. Cecilia would rather do anything other than put her singledom on display, ugh, or take advice from the internet, ugh. But when her boss hints that doing the show is the only way to protect a friend's job, she realizes she has no choice. To make matters more complicated, once she's committed to 20 blind dates of Eliza's choosing, Cecilia finds herself unable to stop thinking about Will, a photographer she helped to rescue a very big and very lovable lost dog. Even though there are sparks between the two, Will's own path is uncertain, and Eliza's skeptical comments about Cecilia's decision-making aren't helping. On the one hand, Will seems great, but on the other, don't they all? As Cecilia struggles to balance the life she truly desires and the one that Eliza wants to create for her, she finds herself at a crossroads. Can Cecilia sort through all the advice and find a way to do what she loves without losing herself in the process? And lastly, The Final Hunt by Audrey J. Cole. I think that I have read something else of hers that I liked. I can't remember what it was. I would have to look on Goodreads. Alone in a hunting cabin, off-grid in an untamed wilderness, how does a marriage come to this? After John disappeared while hunting, presumed dead from a bear attack, Cameron found the crime photos. His role in the recent Seattle serial unalivings was discovered. The media destroyed her reputation. She lost her dental practice, is on the brink of losing her home. Everyone has a secret, but if her husband could hide the unimaginable from her, who's to say he's truly dead? What brings you so far from home? The Alaska State Trooper had asked. The truth. That sounds fantastic. Okay, there it is. Let me know if you've read any of them and if they were good or if any of them sound good that you think you might like to read. I'm excited to get started because it looks like lots of good ones, lots of potential here. So, alrighty, I will see you all this weekend for a reading wrap up. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time. Bye.